How you doing, buddy?
Hi. How are you?
I'm doing good. It's nice to see you. How's your summer?
It's good. We're on tour. We're in Salt Lake City today.
Awesome. How's the tour going?
It's been good. Really great crowds. It's good to be back.
Yeah, I bet. Zedd's on the line. What's up, fella?
How are you?
Nice to see you. Listen, look at this. You know, not only do we have 2 Grammy Award winners right here, but we have, a team who gave us one of the undeniable songs of the last decade. Certainly in the summer months, you couldn't go one step without tripping over the middle. And now we have another reason for these 2 great artists to come back together. This was a match made in heaven before, but now you're just showing off. Maren, what made you want to do this again? I mean, it's not like you're not busy. What is it about Zedd? Let's embarrass this guy.
He's just the best. I don't know. It's like we did it once before. He sent me this song a couple months back, and I think when you just feel it in your gut, you'd be stupid not to say yes.
Yeah, and do you know as soon as you hear a song, Maren, that being aware of what you're capable of in the moment with the ambition to grow and to improve, but that you can crush the out of that?
Yeah, I mean, I had big shoes to fill because, Charlie's vocal on the demo was so good. And, I just came in and tried to give it my flair. But, a great song is a great song. So I'm very flattered and, honored to be a part of it.
Zedd, you choose and pick your collaborators so carefully and cleverly. The middle was one of those genre-defying moments that I don't think people give enough credit to, which was that you took an artist like Maren, who is by no means conventional country, but comes from a place where storytelling is at the forefront and emotion is the forefront. And to some degree, whether you like it or not, Maren, country claims part of your success. And you moved it into a space that is really cross-genre, pop, dance, EDM, electronic music. I mean, it was really the first of its kind in many respects.
There were pop country collaborations happening, like Florida Georgia Line and BB Rexa with Meant to Be. And, that year had a lot of huge collabs happening. But yeah, I mean, I think it definitely opened the world up to my music in a way that it hadn't before. So it's crazy, coming from country music, just the globalness of pop. Yeah, and hearing it in cabs in Brazil, and so it's definitely a new thing for me, for sure.
Anton, what made you want to do it in the first place? What was it you heard about Maren that made you realize that this was the next collaborator for you, the next partner?
The first time with the middle, it was just her voice. At that time, when I heard the vocal, I actually didn't know much about Maren's background or what kind of music she comes from. I just heard a demo. I don't even know if the file was labeled anything that would give away who the vocalist was. I literally just listened for the color, and I think Maren's voice just has everything that a good voice needs. It's got character. You immediately can tell who it is. She has this amazing rasp, which to me is always a bit of emotion that I look for.
I totally agree. One of the things I love about your voice, Maren, is that you're able to push the emotional resonance of your performance, but never at the expense of the vulnerability of the message. It's really hard to do. You can really reach the note, but I never feel like you've left the message behind when you're doing it.
Oh, well, thank you. That's a huge compliment. I think it's tough, when people think of the American Idolness of a great singer, it's volume. A lot of times singers get into this weird muscle of thinking that they have to be loud in order to be a quality vocalist. And I think that's just a very huge compliment from you, saying that I can kind of live between the worlds. And
as a radio DJ, I have no idea what you're talking about. Zedd, to approach a big hit like The Middle and to do it again, I know that you're going to honor the song. You're both going to honor the song and not really think about the success of the last time, but it's hard to avoid to some degree. I mean, it's just a part of the DNA now. It doesn't sound anything like The Middle. How did you approach it differently, and sort of how did you keep the two things separate?
I think Maren and I talked about this briefly. I think it was never on our mind to, top it or do it again in that regard. But from the outside, when people look at both of our names together, they automatically are going to think about The Middle, whether we want that or not.
Yeah.
It's not really up to us. I think our goal was to just make the best song possible. It tends to be more dancey, more clubby, I guess, in a certain sense, but it doesn't lose the wide appeal and the pop in the song. will it do what the middle is? I mean, nobody
Who
knows.
knows? That's not a question. That's not a question. Who knows? But it's a smasher. We're definitely going to help, here at Apple. It's awesome that you've been able to utilize and lean into our technology to create a visual accompaniment for this. I mean, the video shot on iPad is awesome. How did it feel, shooting the video on iPad this time as opposed to the previous times when you've probably had much bigger production?
Oh, I mean, I loved that we got to shoot it in Nashville. It was my first time doing choreography. I'll use that word very sparingly, but
great, whatever. It was great. It's great.
Thank you. Yeah, I think just acting, dancing, and then Zedd was literally editing the comp of the vocal on set. So it was, it was a lot of things going on, a lot of timing. And it's just such a creative concept for a video, but I think the Apple team smashed it out of the park. It's so beautiful and unique, and just tells an even more emotional story along with the lyric. And so yeah, it's a very cool thing to be a part of. My favorite thing that the fans have said since we teased this collaboration is retail workers everywhere are shaking because the middle was in every Target and Forever 21 and mall shop for years. So it's happening round 2 now.
That's awesome. You're out there supporting Humble Quest and all the wonderful music you've given us, now over the course of your ride today. Before I talk to you, Zedd, because you're at the start of a new era 10 years into your career, but Maren, you're really smack dab in the middle of bringing this music to the people. We lamented about that a couple of times during quarantine, and I know that you missed it. How was it getting back out on stage, and realizing that you had some rhythm to it again?
I mean, it just feels so good. I think that the fans, myself, the band, the crew, just everyone feels really grateful to get to do this again. And we're playing these really beautiful amphitheaters all summer. And I missed the off stage hang as much as the on stage is what I realized. And it just feels like summer camp out here. So they've been really fun shows.
Yeah, magic. Reason, to your point, to be grateful for the steps you took to get there. Zedd, 10 years on. Crazy. I mean, what a 10 years. I was right there beside you for the first half of it. I mean, it was a mad time for DJs and producers and artists to be going out there and trying to find an audience, and dance music just seemed to be 100%, taking all the air out of the room. You've come through the other end of that by focusing on pop music as well as great dance music and expanded your repertoire. You could go almost anywhere at this point, and we know that the club is open for business again because the community wants to dance. So where is your head at right now?
Coming out of the pandemic, I was opening a lot of these places back up. The first shows, everybody was wearing masks. It was a weird thing. I mean, I played a show in Japan where people were not allowed to sing along. I've never heard of this before. Everybody had to wear a mask. Everybody was seated in a particular place. It was in the stadium in Tokyo, but nobody was allowed to sing along. And it was I will never experience anything like this again, probably. I was backstage about to go on and I didn't hear anything. I thought it's completely empty.
I mean, I've had that experience, to be fair, as well, but just, pretty much anywhere during my shows.
Fair enough. You're better.
Fair enough. Poor Zedd. What does he say to that? What is it? Maren played the right hand. Maren was like, I ain't saying.
In one way, I feel like dance music or house music is bigger than it's ever been. And I don't know if that's thanks to the fact that people missed dancing and going out, but I feel like while everybody was talking about if dance music reached its peak, I still feel like it's developing.
It's back and it's ahead of the curve, no question about it. And it is about community. For the same reason that Maren can go out and play, amphitheaters and arenas and ultimately stadiums, is because, people miss the community experience of hearing you perform. It's the same thing watching you going and doing what you do. It's all about community. And I think that, as far as recording is concerned, this is a big pop record, bro. And it does have danceability and it does have all the things you love, but it's a big record. But we know you can also make the big room smashes and even take it dark and underground. So are you doing all of it?
I am. I mean, my next big project is my album. And I started that before the pandemic. I actually sent you a song that I was working on.
I remember.
The feeling of the album, it is going to have some happy moments and some hands up moments, but that is still my direction for the record. It's going to be dance heavy, but I'm trying to incorporate some of my early influences in the song I sent you, which is a little bit dark and twisted, to classical music, which I'm remaking an old classical piece.
Well, I love what you sent me, and I'm pretty sure that's what I said. So I mean, I'm excited for whatever you've been working on since. Maren, are you inspired? Are you writing? I mean, it's tough when you're on the road, I know, and especially you're trying to balance life and shows, making sure that you and your family are happy, and the 10 to 20,000 people every night are happy as well.
Yeah, I'm not in the headspace yet to write again. I think, I can't separate the two sides. I have to separate the two sides of my brain, like creative and, playing shows. So right now I feel like with Humble Quest still being a baby, I definitely am just still in the thick of that. But who knows? I get like lightning strikes of inspiration and but right now I'm not thinking about album 4.
Understandably so. Album 3 is a triumph.